They laughed at the slow janitor who asked too many questions. He was a former CIA intelligence analyst. Welcome back to the channel where everyday heroes get the recognition they deserve. Today's story shows that sometimes the person everyone thinks is too simple to understand what's happening is the only one smart enough to see the truth. Drop a comment with your city and hit subscribe if stories about underestimated veterans inspire you. Samuel Sam Washington pushed his cleaning cart through the gleaming corridors of Meridian Technologies in downtown Seattle, Washington, methodically emptying trash bins and mopping floors with the careful precision of someone who took pride in doing any job well. At 58, he moved with the deliberate pace of a man who had learned that rushing led to mistakes, though his coworkers at the corporate headquarters assumed his slow approach reflected limited intelligence rather than practiced thoroughness. His gray custodial uniform was always clean, his equipment perfectly organized, and his interactions with office workers politely respectful but unremarkable. To the 800 employees who worked at Meridian Technologies, Sam was simply the slow janitor, someone who asked obvious questions, took too long to complete simple tasks, and seemed confused by basic technology that everyone else understood intuitively. The younger staff members made jokes about Simple Sam being stuck in a job that matched his apparent intellectual limitations, while supervisors spoke loudly and slowly when giving him instructions, assuming he needed extra help understanding routine cleaning procedures. "I swear that guy doesn't understand half of what we tell him," complained Jennifer Morris, a marketing coordinator who often worked late. "Yesterday, I had to explain 3 times how to empty my trash without disturbing my desk setup. It's like talking to a child." The facilities manager, Robert Chen, was particularly dismissive of Sam's capabilities. "I don't know why corporate keeps him around," Chen would tell other supervisors. "Guy moves like molasses, asks weird questions about things that aren't his business, and acts like he's some kind of detective when he's just supposed to clean offices." Even worse was the treatment Sam received from the IT security team, led by Director Marcus Thompson. "That janitor creeps me out," Thompson told his staff during departmental meetings. "Always asking about our computer systems and security procedures, probably trying to figure out passwords so he can play games on our equipment." What none of them knew was that Dr. Samuel Washington had spent 22 years as a senior intelligence analyst for the Central Intelligence Agency, specializing in industrial espionage investigations, foreign technology theft, and the protection of American corporate secrets from hostile intelligence services. Sam had earned a Ph.D. in computer science from MIT, spoken 4 languages fluently, and received commendations for analytical work that had protected billions of dollars in U.S. technological advantages from theft by foreign governments. He had retired from the CIA after developing early-stage Parkinson's disease that affected his motor skills but not his intellectual capabilities, choosing janitorial work because it provided steady income while allowing him to use his analytical training to observe and assess potential security threats. Sam had taken the custodial position at Meridian Technologies, not just because he needed employment that accommodated his physical limitations, but because the company's cutting-edge defense contracts and proprietary technology made it a natural target for the kind of industrial espionage he had spent decades investigating. Every office he cleaned was automatically assessed for security vulnerabilities. Every unusual pattern was noted and evaluated, and every potential threat was identified and monitored using skills that had once protected America's most sensitive technological secrets from foreign adversaries. The morning of Wednesday, October 4th, brought a situation that would test every lesson Sam had learned about recognizing espionage operations, analyzing intelligence patterns, and protecting valuable information from theft by sophisticated adversaries. Over the course of 6 weeks, Sam had observed behavior patterns among certain Meridian employees that his CIA training immediately recognized as indicators of coordinated industrial espionage activities. The suspicious activity centered around Dr. Lisa Chang, a senior software engineer who had joined Meridian 3 months earlier after working for a Chinese technology firm. Chang had been hired to lead development of advanced encryption software for military communication systems, giving her access to some of the company's most sensitive projects and classified government contracts. Sam's concerns began when he noticed that Dr. Chang was working unusual hours that didn't align with normal project schedules or team coordination. She frequently stayed late when most other employees had left, not to complete routine work, but to access computer systems and project files that weren't directly related to her assigned responsibilities. During his evening cleaning rounds, Sam observed Chang photographing computer screens, copying files to external storage devices, and conducting encrypted communications with outside contacts using her personal phone. Her activities followed operational security patterns that Sam recognized from his CIA experience as classic intelligence collection procedures used by foreign agents operating in corporate environments. Most concerning was Chang's systematic access to projects beyond her security clearance level. Using techniques that Sam recognized as social engineering, Chang had convinced other employees to share login credentials, provide access to restricted databases, and discuss classified projects that she had no legitimate need to know about. Sam also noticed that Chang was coordinating her activities with two other recent hires, Dr. Kevin Park, a network security specialist, and Maria Santos, a project coordinator who had access to client communications and contract details. The three employees worked in different departments but had developed relationships that allowed them to share information and coordinate access to various aspects of Meridian's technology portfolio. During his CIA career, Sam had learned that successful industrial espionage operations often involved multiple agents working in different roles to gather comprehensive intelligence about target technologies, business strategies, and government contracts. Chang, Park, and Santos appeared to be conducting exactly the kind of coordinated intelligence collection that foreign services used to steal American technological advantages. Meanwhile, Sam's co-workers continued to treat him as intellectually limited and professionally irrelevant. When he tried to report his concerns about after-hours computer access and unusual employee behavior patterns, his supervisors dismissed his observations as misunderstanding normal work activities. Sam's getting paranoid about people working late, Robert Chen told Building Security. Guy doesn't understand that engineers sometimes need to put in extra hours, probably watches too many spy movies. Even worse was the reaction when Sam attempted to discuss his concerns with IT security. That janitor is bothering our staff with crazy questions about who's accessing what systems. Marcus Thompson complained to Human Resources. We need to tell him to stick to cleaning and stop pretending he understands technology. Jennifer Morris was particularly cruel in her dismissal of Sam's concerns. Simple Sam thinks he's discovered some big conspiracy because Dr. Chang works late, she told coworkers during a lunch break. Maybe we should get him a detective badge to go with his mop. But Sam's CIA training had taught him that the most dangerous intelligence operations were often the ones that looked routine to untrained observers. He continued his careful documentation while enduring the mockery of people who had no idea they were dismissing someone who had once been responsible for protecting the same kinds of secrets that were now at risk. Sam faced a dilemma that brought back memories of his CIA career. If he was right about what he was observing, Meridian's classified technology and government contracts were being systematically compromised by a coordinated espionage operation. If he was wrong, he was about to expose himself to ridicule and potentially damage his employment based on suspicions about employees who might be conducting legitimate work activities. But Sam's 22 years of fighting industrial espionage had taught him that the cost of ignoring intelligence collection was always measured in stolen technology, compromised national security, and American technological advantages transferred to hostile foreign governments. He decided to conduct his own investigation before taking action. Sam began using analytical techniques he'd learned during his CIA career to document the suspected espionage network's activities and methods. He tracked their access patterns, communication behaviors, and coordination methods while building intelligence profiles on each participant using observation skills that had once protected America's most sensitive corporate secrets. What Sam discovered confirmed his worst fears. Chang, Park, and Santos were conducting comprehensive industrial espionage that involved copying proprietary software, stealing government contract details, and gathering intelligence on Meridian's research and development priorities. The operation was sophisticated, well-coordinated, and involved techniques that Sam recognized from Chinese intelligence services he had studied during his CIA career. Sam observed the team systematically collecting information about military encryption technology, defense contractor relationships, and classified government projects that would be extremely valuable to foreign military and intelligence organizations. The scope and professionalism of their operation suggested they were working for Chinese intelligence services rather than conducting opportunistic corporate theft. Sam called his former colleague, Agent Patricia Liu, who still worked with the FBI's counterintelligence division. Patricia was one of the few people who knew about Sam's CIA background and had maintained contact since his retirement from the intelligence community. "Patricia, it's Sam Washington. I need to run something by you urgently." "Sam, good to hear from you. What's going on?" Sam described what he'd observed using the analytical framework of someone who had spent decades investigating industrial espionage and foreign intelligence operations. Patricia listened without interruption, her training recognizing the significance of what Sam was reporting. "Sam, that sounds like a coordinated Chinese intelligence operation. We've been tracking increased industrial espionage targeting defense contractors that matches your timeline and methods." "That's what I was thinking," Sam replied, reviewing his documentation. "The coordination and technical sophistication suggest state-sponsored intelligence collection rather than opportunistic corporate theft. Can you maintain surveillance without compromising the investigation? We need to identify their full network and collection methods before we move." Sam agreed to continue gathering intelligence while FBI counterintelligence agents established external surveillance of the suspected espionage network. His insider position and analytical expertise made him invaluable for understanding the scope and methods of their operations. Over the next 3 weeks, Sam documented an industrial espionage operation that was far more extensive than his initial observations had suggested. Chang, Park, and Santos were part of a larger Chinese intelligence network that was systematically targeting American defense contractors, using a combination of human intelligence and cyber operations to steal classified technology and government contract information. "Sam," Agent Liu told him during one of their briefings, "your intelligence has identified a major Chinese espionage network. These operatives have been collecting information that could compromise U.S. military advantages and billions of dollars in defense technology." The final breakthrough came when Sam observed Chang coordinating what appeared to be the transfer of collected intelligence to Chinese intelligence handlers. Using his CIA training, Sam documented the entire operation, including data transfer methods, communication protocols, and handler identities that would be crucial for counterintelligence response. "Patricia, they're conducting a major intelligence transfer tonight," Sam reported. "Based on their operational security and coordination, this involves the complete compromise of Meridian's classified projects and government contracts. We're coordinating with multiple agencies for immediate interdiction." Agent Liu replied, "Your intelligence has given us everything we need to dismantle their entire operation." Federal agents conducted coordinated arrests at multiple locations, resulting in the detention of 12 Chinese intelligence operatives, including the entire network operating at Meridian Technologies. The operation revealed a sophisticated espionage network that had successfully stolen millions of dollars worth of classified defense technology and government contract information. "Dr. Washington," Agent Liu said as counterintelligence teams processed the arrests, "your identification of this espionage operation prevented a massive theft of American military technology. These Chinese operatives had access to information that could have compromised U.S. defense advantages for decades." The investigation that followed Sam's discovery revealed that the Chinese intelligence network had been operating at multiple American defense contractors for over 2 years, using a combination of recruited employees and planted operatives to systematically steal classified technology. Sam's CIA training and willingness to investigate had exposed a major breach of national security that had gone undetected by conventional security measures. When news of Sam's role in exposing the spy ring became known at Meridian Technologies, the reaction from his coworkers was a mixture of shock, embarrassment, and profound respect. Robert Chen, who had spent months dismissing Sam as intellectually limited, found himself struggling to process the revelation. "I had no idea," Chen admitted to other supervisors. "I thought he was just a slow janitor who asked annoying questions. Turns out he was protecting our company's secrets while we were making fun of him." Jennifer Morris felt even worse about her previous comments. "All those times I talked to him like he was stupid. He was probably analyzing security threats that I couldn't even understand existed." Marcus Thompson, who had been particularly dismissive of Sam's concerns about computer security, requested a private meeting to apologize. "Dr. Washington, I owe you a profound apology. Your questions about our systems weren't ignorant. They were professional. I should have listened instead of dismissing your expertise." Meridian's CEO, David Richardson, called Sam into his office for a formal recognition meeting. "Dr. Washington, I need to acknowledge that you prevented a catastrophic theft of our technology and government contracts. Your vigilance and expertise saved our company millions of dollars and protected national security information." 6 months after exposing the espionage operation, Sam received a visit from CIA Director Sarah Martinez, who offered him a consulting position with the agency's private sector counterintelligence program. "Your combination of analytical experience and corporate access makes you uniquely qualified," Director Martinez explained. "We need experienced officers who can identify foreign intelligence operations in everyday business environments." Sam accepted a part-time consulting role that allowed him to maintain his custodial position while providing expertise to federal counterintelligence efforts. Meridian Technologies became a training location where intelligence officers learned to recognize espionage indicators in corporate settings. The most important lesson Sam told groups of counterintelligence agents training at Meridian is that foreign spies often succeed because they look like normal employees doing normal work. The key is recognizing when normal activities follow patterns that suggest intelligence collection. Sam kept his CIA credentials and analytical awards in a frame in the janitor's supply closet, not as displays of past glory, but as reminders that protecting American technology was an ongoing mission. Every night he cleaned those offices, he was still defending national security, just using different methods and different environments than he'd used as an active intelligence officer. 3 years after busting the spy ring, Sam was promoted to corporate security consultant for Meridian Technologies, a position that officially recognized his unique qualifications for identifying and responding to espionage threats. His former critics now sought his advice on security procedures and threat assessment. Robert Chen, who had once been Sam's harshest critic, became one of his strongest advocates. "I learned something important from working with Sam," Chen told new employees during orientation sessions. "Never assume you understand someone's capabilities based on their job title or the speed at which they work. The person you're underestimating might be the most qualified person in the building." The designation came with expanded responsibilities. Sam began teaching industrial espionage awareness classes for corporate security professionals, showing business leaders how to recognize foreign intelligence activities without disrupting legitimate business operations. "Every company with valuable technology can be a target for foreign intelligence," Sam told his training audiences. "You don't need CIA training to notice when employees' activities don't match their job responsibilities or when access patterns suggest unauthorized information collection." Local and federal law enforcement agencies began referring potential espionage cases to Sam for assessment, recognizing his expertise in foreign intelligence operations and corporate security. Meridian Technologies became a resource for counterintelligence investigations throughout the Pacific Northwest. People don't realize how much CIA analytical experience applies to corporate security, Agent Liu reflected during a later interview. Sam's training made him recognize patterns that could have gone undetected for years. His vigilance prevented a major theft of American military technology. Sam continued working at Meridian Technologies with the same attention to detail that had once made him one of the CIA's most effective intelligence analysts. Every employee was observed respectfully but assessed carefully for security concerns. Every unusual pattern was noted and evaluated, and every potential espionage activity was identified and reported before it could compromise national security. The man emptying your office trash might look like any other custodial worker, but his understanding of espionage techniques could be protecting your company's secrets with the experience of someone who spent decades hunting foreign intelligence operatives. Sometimes the person everyone thinks is too slow to understand what's happening is the only one smart enough to see the truth. Sam Washington proved that CIA analytical skills don't become obsolete when the security clearance ends. The abilities that made him effective at identifying foreign spies translated perfectly to recognizing industrial espionage and protecting the American technological advantages that hostile governments wanted to steal. His story reminds us that intelligence officers carry their training and protective instincts into every job they take, often using their specialized knowledge in ways that seem unrelated to national security, but actually draw on exactly the same analytical techniques that once protected America's most sensitive secrets from foreign adversaries. Have you ever worked in an office where the custodial staff seemed unusually observant about employee activities and security procedures? Sam's story shows us that the person cleaning your workspace might be someone whose training extends far beyond knowing how to operate cleaning equipment. The janitor asking questions about your computer systems could be someone whose expertise once protected national secrets and continues to safeguard your company's most valuable information in ways you never expected. Where are you watching from today? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know if you've ever encountered a service professional whose background surprised you when you learned their story.